Hey guys, Darlene here. Welcome to Unmaking a Mess and just taking a moment. I said that when the moment strikes me, I was going to get it down on paper or on recording, and this is one of those times. And so I was just about to go out and mow my yard, but every time that I start getting ready to work outside, I put on the earbuds, and all the thoughts just start really coming. And I got to thinking about what happened last night because I was trying to set our alarm in our house, which I always do from my phone, and it would not work. I removed the app, put the app back in, tried putting in 2 different passwords and usernames, and then I even came downstairs and reset our Wi-Fi, and nothing was working. So I discovered today that there's like this world or US outage. I'm not exactly sure. I really didn't look into it, but it made sense as to why our app wasn't working for us. And so I want to talk a little bit about that, because since I am sorry, I know I'm moving around a lot. Since I am a big person that has really worked hard to trust God, I realized last night that even though it was extremely frustrating to me, I finally just had to put my phone away and go to sleep, make sure doors were locked and all that kind of stuff. And the reason why I'm absolutely so obsessed with things like that is because when I was probably around 22 years old, the person I was living with, we moved into this house in an area of town that was not that great, but that was something that we really didn't know. I think we were more excited that a realtor had actually just went ahead and offered us the house to rent regardless of where it was. And my daughter, and he probably knew more about the neighborhood than of course we did, but that is a lesson to be taught to your young adults as they're looking for houses. And I know you do. You know, I tell my girls all the time, you know, you've got to be careful where you're actually at and stuff, and always, you know, watching, you know, when you're getting in your cars and everything. But even more so like when you're moving into a place. And so for us, we moved into this house. It was this humongous 2-story house. And what, you know, we're like 20s, if even that. I'm not quite sure, because I moved out of the house when I was only 18, which is a whole nother story in itself. And I think we only lived in 1 or 2 other places with somebody else before we came across this house. Anyway, we moved in and we were not there for very long. One of the conditions was if we were to move in, the rent was going to be really cheap, because it was up to us to get rid of, okay, brace yourself, the cockroaches. Yeah. I'm telling you what, my life and what it's gone through, you would not believe. And so the guy gave us all this powder that we were supposed to use to get rid of these horrible creatures, and we did, but the house was huge, had lots of windows, of course doors on every single side, including, you know, 2 doors that went into an entryway like a sunroom and stuff. And one evening, my friend and I, we were out partying as usual, you know, for young adults, and we came home, and we had a dog, and he was fairly young, still only 1 year old, and it was a pit bull. And we went to bed, and I was woken up to a knife being scraped against the bottom of my foot, and it was dark, and the guy was telling me to go downstairs. And I remember my partner waking up and the intruder telling him, stay here, otherwise she dies, or something like that, but definitely a threat. And the dog was still asleep, and so I followed the guy downstairs, and I'm only imagining, you know, what my boyfriend's going through upstairs. And, I'm not going to go into details. I may go into it more, when I'm writing, but all you need to know now is that it was a horrible experience. And, hang on a second. And, I was waiting for my daughter to go by. It was not a good experience. And I remember afterwards, the guy asked if I had any food in the fridge. And I was like, I don't know, just take whatever you want. And he ended up taking like the very first like little turntable that my parents had given me. It was probably one of the only things I left my house with. And he asked me to give him a ride somewhere, and I'm like, I can't do that. He's like, why? And I said, because I don't know how to drive my boyfriend's car, which was the absolute truth. It was a tricky car where I can't go into it now, but you had to use like this shifter thing to get it to go into drive. And he was like, yeah, well, you got this other car in the garage. I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's my car. And it doesn't run. And finally the guy left, and I ran upstairs to my boyfriend, and he asked if I was okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. But neither of us wanted to go back downstairs in fear of the person might have been down there. And so we literally crawled out the window and went down like the pipe, the drainage, and worked our way down to the porch, and then still didn't even touch the ground. I remember that. Like, we hopped over to the house next to us because they were all like really close, and we went knocking on this person's door. It was probably like 3:30 in the morning, and it was a young couple, and they were super nice to us. And hang on, I'm gonna go outside. Come with me. And anyway, so we went next door to this couple's house, told them what happened, and she was just like so gracious. She sends me to the bathroom, and I'm just like trying to catch my breath. I don't even want to tell you about that part of it. All I know is that I was just trying to clean myself up. Let me just go there. Before I finally got taken to the hospital, and they did the whole kit on me. And anyway, okay, that was loud. Anyway, so afterwards, long story short, which there's so much to go into, like, the hospital, us not going back to the house, me not wanting to go back in the house, going to court. I mean, so much added to it. But what I want to tell you about that whole scenario, which is really threaded into my mind, is it left me with that fear. And so now I'm constantly going around checking windows, checking doors. I do not leave knives laying around, because that was the weapon that he used. And I make sure that if they're still in the sink or something, I cover them up with something. But that's what fear will do to you. That's what, the devil will do to you too. He wants to create that fear in you so that you can't live contently, so that you don't go to God with your concerns, with your trials, with what you're scared of. And the whole alarm system made me think that, because as I lay there in bed, that's the reason why I went back downstairs twice, check things, come upstairs, You know, Claire was still awake. I told her, hey, I'm making sure I'm locking the doors. I let my dog out, lock the door again. I literally go back and forth checking the doors probably at least 2 or 3 times, even though I've already done it. Woke up this morning and realized that the alarm was still not set. However, and then found out, like it's this outage everywhere. And I realized that, my faith in God is real. I mean, it's really, really true. I have to put a lot of trust and grace in Him, because if I don't, I am perpetually going to have this fear and this anxiousness and this constant feeling of threat against us, which, checking locks and stuff, yeah, but you know what? I mean, I don't see anything, like super crazy or wrong about that. I think that's just my way of, reassuring myself and feeling like I'm protecting my daughters. Getting the alarm system is also one of those ways. And so not having the alarm system, for one evening really sucked. On the other hand, waking up this morning and being able to thank God is a whole nother thing. And so this has gone on way longer than I thought. I probably went into too many details, but I think when I say, hey, God is placing this on my heart, that I want to share it because it's super authentic, that's what I'm doing here. And that's it. Alarm system, memories from way back, and still trusting God. That's me. I'm going to trust Him, and I'm going to be thankful for everything that He does for us. And yeah, technology is not always going to work for you. So what are you going to do about it? Well, exactly that. You are going to either lie awake at night. You are either going to constantly check locks more than what I did. You're going to get angry. You're going to remove your app over and over. You're going to try and try over and over again. You're going to stress yourself out. It's going to hurt your heart. It's going to hurt your brain. It's going to tense up your muscles. All these things are going to happen. Or, pray to God, and you're going to give it to Him like I did, and wake up the next day and thank Him for everything that He's done for you, and look back at all the times that He saved you like I have done, and realize that there's a purpose for you as there is for me in this life. And I pray that you find it no different than I'm trying as well. So thanks for tuning in. Going on 13 minutes. I got to get over here and get this yard mowed, but this was worth it. Hey, thank you so much. Unmaking a Mess on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, all titled the same. Check out my blog online titled the same. Please share and subscribe, and let's see where this goes. All right, take care, guys. Enjoy your day. Bye.